Hi fam, welcome back. Oh gosh, today is the day that apparently I'm batching content, which is just so interesting because I don't usually batch content, but who knows, maybe this is a sign for someone that you also need to batch content. And just to trust in the flow, that when the flow arrives, to just ride it, like ride the wave, like it's there for a reason. I have 1,200 other things that I probably could be doing today, but I'm like, I don't know, all this wants to come out, so here we are. Anyways, take a deep breath, grab your drink, get cozy. I do like my little campfire chats now. That's what I'm calling it anyway. It's like we're all sitting together around a campfire and I'm telling campfire stories. Like, also, that was like one of my favorite scenes ever in any movie is the Sandlot scene. If you know, you know. I love marshmallows and s'mores. Anyways, all that being said, I was just watching a video and it was talking about victimhood, and I was like, well, it's a good topic to talk about because I feel like we're shifting out of it as a collective, but I still feel like, you know, it's something that's in the back of a lot of people's minds, right? It's like, why is everything happening to me? And I know from personal experience that dictated my reality for a really long time. I was just like, is the world out to get me? Oh, y'all, the noises in the background every time I go to fucking record, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, and my short answer is no. The world is not out to get me. The world is not out to get you. Like, we signed up for every single thing before we came here. And this whole victim thing of like, oh, poor me, this is happening to me, like, why is this happening to me? Like, questioning why something's happening. First of all, you attracted that into your reality for a reason. It's a mirror for you to let go of something, right? And I think back to all the times where I was like, fuck, this again? And I look back and I'm like, huh, that could have gone differently, but like also that all happened for a reason. And it was to get me to where I am now. And God, I have seen 2, 3, 4 so many times today. I said this in my last video too. I'm just like literally 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4 I've seen all day today. In fact, I've caught them at the exact same time as well. It's so interesting. It just means forward movement. Things are taking off like that car. Anyways. Yeah, victimhood is such an interesting thing that I feel like we can all relate to and we all experience on such different levels. And I know mine used to be really, really bad. I was like, man, is life always going to be like this? Like, is the world always going to feel like it's out to get me? Am I always going to be sick? Am I always going to be tethered to an IV pole? Or, you know, I let these stories run rampant for so long. But at the same time, I also had such a mindset. There's a hawk flying overhead, by the way. I just had this mindset of like, no, everything is working out for me. Everything, it has to get better. This can't be why I came to Earth. That little tiny thought, that may not seem very big, but let me tell you, there is a lot more energy behind that thought than I gave it credit for. Because that thought got me through, I can't tell you how many days, times, things. It kept me going in ways that I can't even fully explain. And when we come out of victimhood or victim mode or however you want to term it, right? And we start seeing things as an opportunity to evolve, to grow, to become a better version rather than, fuck, why this again? Why is the world out to get me? Why did that person have to cheat on me? Why did blah, 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 blah. Whatever your brain might be doing right now or does when this happens, when you go down the mental spiral of, fuck, why this? Just know that it's happening for a reason. And to see everything as an opportunity rather than taking it personal and taking it to heart and thinking that the world is out to get you, because I promise you the world is not out to get you. The universe wants you to win. The universe wants everything for you that you desire, but we are the ones that get in our own way. And in something that I talked about recently on my TikTok was when I cheated on my husband. And I was a habitual cheater for my entire status quo of relationships that I've ever had. Literally cheated on everyone that I've ever been with. And I can say that now and not get lost in the sauce of it. Like, I remember the day when my cousin had told me, like, you're gonna get to a point where you can just openly admit and talk about the fact that you've cheated, and it's not going to be this like guilt shame trip where you like crawl in a hole and want to die. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And now I'm at that place and I giggle to myself because I'm like, holy shit, like all of that happened for a reason. I front loaded the first half of my life to get everything out of the way so that I could learn all these lessons and help people to overcome challenges and to see things a different way. And that is a huge part of what my gifts that I am realizing is like, there's a reason why I got perspective tattooed on my fucking shoulder. And there's a reason why, like, I have such an open mind. And there's a reason why I am using my voice to help everyone else, including myself. But I was talking about this recently, how I used to not be able to say that, like that I cheated on my husband, and that I understand now why I did it. But the one thing that I really wanted to point out is that no one ever asks, why did you do something? They just are quick to point the finger and blame and shame and guilt and all the things. And I know because I've experienced that firsthand. But my point is, no one ever sat down and truly asked me on like a deep level. And if they did, I didn't open up about it because I was too worried about what anyone else would think. But from my recollection, when you can sit down and have an honest conversation with someone about like, okay, why did you do this? Like, where's the rupture? What is going on inside of you that you are externally trying to seek from someone else, right? For me, I wanted love and I wanted to feel it so deeply. And I wanted that the things that I was asking for externally, I wanted them to be taken care of. And so I found someone that would love me and would take care of those things. And I had said things to my husband, but they weren't being taken care of the way that I expected them to, right? And so I went through this whole thing of cheating on my husband and the multitude of things that brought up for me. I carried that secret for so long. The affair went on for so long. Like, there's so many things that came with that. And it's taken me so long to, to get to this place, to be able to talk about all these things, to understand I was seeking those things externally because I could not give them to myself. And a lot of times when people cheat, that is the thing. We are seeking something outside of us that we are not able to give ourselves. And so we go to the first person that will give that to us. That was aggressive. And so that's what I did. And I know that everything happened for a reason. I know that all of the events that followed that all happened for a reason. And at times it felt like the fucking world is out to get me. Like, what is happening? Even though it was happening because of my actions. But I know that all had to happen for me to get to this point where I can talk about this and to share my experience with the world, to normalize that so many people cheat and nobody talks about it. It's like the elephant in the room or the black sheep. Like, no one wants to talk about these things. And yet they're things that we must talk about because they are experienced more than we talk about them. And if you've learned anything about me, it's that I am here to normalize a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, or seemingly don't want to talk about, because there is so much behind these topics that we have not talked about because it's been shamed and guilted. And in order to rise as a collective, we need to unpack these things to be able to move forward. We're not meant to carry it like the fucking old baggage on our back. Done are those days. But what I will say is that if you are someone who has been through this experience, or if you have been cheated on, obviously there's several different things, but I think the one thing that I really wish I would have done a little bit sooner was go to therapy to be able to have an unbiased source to talk about all these things to. Because ultimately, truthfully, after I started going to therapy for almost a year, like, things shifted and I was like, oh, I actually am not supposed to be with this person. I'm actually meant to get a divorce, which I should have gotten several years ago when I first cheated on him, but here we are. And just know that the world is not out to get you. Everything happens for a reason. And when you can adopt that mindset, everything is always working out for me. Everything's always happening in my favor, even if it doesn't appear to be. But that we need to normalize talking about these things more and more and more, because it happens more often than we talk about, to be completely honest with you. And to my knowledge, well, I have and I haven't, right? Been cheated on. I have technically, in a way, but we don't have to get into that. It's a whole story for another day. I've been on both sides of it, is what I'm trying to say, and I can understand being on both sides of it now and understanding why someone else does it, and also in turn understanding why I do it and why I attracted that into my life, right? Because so often we want to point the finger at someone else, but it's like, hey, why don't we look within and see, why am I attracting that into my life? What piece of me is attracting that into my life? What part of me needs that experience right now in order for X, Y, and Z to unfold? Everything external of us is just a mirror of what's going on within. And when we can start looking at the world that way versus pointing the finger at everyone and it's everyone else's fault but mine, when you can take self-ownership and self-accountability for your actions and for the stories that you tell and for the way that your mind works and all the things, and it doesn't have to be logical per se, but just understanding on a deep level why these things have happened and turn inwards instead of pointing our finger outwards, God, the world would be such a different place. And I know that we're getting there, and it's taking a great bit of time to get there, but like, just saw 1, 2, 3, 4 again. I know that we're gonna get there. I know that this is the forward movement, and I know that we are shifting out of this mindset, if you will, because it really is for the greater good of all. And so I want you to know that if you've had a victim mindset, or you're like, oh, that's me, or you're shifting out of it, just know that I'm proud of you no matter where you're at. And just having the awareness is the first step to being like, oh, okay, so I need to look inward. Like, why is this being projected outward for me to look back inward? That's why this is happening. And to not shame or guilt or blame yourself, but just to look at it with such a loving heart and know that everything is happening on purpose, on time, for a divine reason. Literally have it tattooed on me. Everything happens for a reason. Because I fully believe that. So it's just your sign to love yourself more, no matter where you're at in life, to have the awareness, to not shame, blame, or guilt yourself for things you might have done in the past or things you're going through currently, whatever your situation is. Just know that it's all happening for a reason. And mindset literally is the name of the game, guys. Like, when you can shift your mindset and also just provide yourself self-love, like, give yourself the same love that you give to other people. You're giving it to them because you're having a hard time giving it to yourself a lot of times. And that's speaking from experience. I was trying to give so much love when really I should have just been giving that to myself. Mic drop. Anyways, I hope that you can love yourself a little bit more today and do something for yourself. And I'd love to hear in the comments if any part of this video hits for you. And yeah, just know everything is always working out for you. All right, fam. I love you so much. I'll see you on the next one.